anyhow, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very, very much. As you heard, I'm a pediatric oncologist. So, little kids most of the time. So you may wonder why I'm here. But I would like to start by saying that as a kid, I always wondered, you know, I heard the saying, life is a journey. And I always tried to figure out what exactly that meant. Half a century later, I'm still trying to figure out, but I found something today that is very special for me, that although I don't know what does it mean, life is a journey, I do understand that you can have a great journey to celebrate life, and I applaud you for that. I'm a pediatric oncologist, and part of what I do with my patients and families is trying to explain very complex concepts like diagnosis and treatment in lay terms. So if you don't mind and indulge me, I will try to explain why it's so important to have an adolescent young adult program. And what I would like to take license on the theme of traveling, I would like you to indulge me and just think a little bit. How many of you have been out of the country in a foreign country with different languages? How many of you? So pretty much everybody. How many of you got stuck somewhere and couldn't understand their language? All right. That's adolescent young adult medicine. Just imagine that all of a sudden you have a problem and you need assistance, and everybody around you don't speak your language. They speak about other things, they eat different food, they have different worries, they have different music. Who cares about rock and roll? Are you crazy? So it's a different world, and all of a sudden you have to face your problems without being able to communicate. Also imagine that you're doing this journey and you're driving your nice motorcycle and you break your motorcycle, and the closest, after dealing with a language barrier, the closest you can find is a bike mechanic. And you have to try to work that bike mechanic in fixing your nice motorcycle. And although the concepts are the same, the bicycle is not the same. And that is adolescent young adult cancer. So why is it so important for us to have such a dedicated program? Because just think of yourself as an adolescent, and you know, we all have been there before. And you have your issues. You're trying to find who you are, what you want to be. You're trying to find your identity, your sexuality, your future. And all of a sudden, you're dealt with a very, very bad news of having cancer. Not only you have to deal with the worst that you ever had in your mind, in your life at this point, but you have to deal with the lack of information, with the lack of understanding, with the lack of communication, because there is not an environment that is conducive and supportive of that situation. Just imagine, for example, that those are two options. Either you can come to a children's hospital in Los Angeles, for example, and you're going to be stuck in a room with a child, God forbid, listening 12 hours a day to Barney. Okay, or the Teletubbies. Can you imagine that? Or that you go into a nice adult facility and all you talk about are bowel movements, where you left your dentures. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not very helpful for an adolescent who's trying to face the hardest time of their life. So we have been very, very fortunate because we found great ears with our partners because we have been concerned. We know we deal with our kids that are maturing, that are transitioning from survivors of pediatric cancer. We know that they are trying to face many of the problems, and we always wondered how can we better assist. How can we better help these now survivors of cancer deal with new challenges? How do you find a girlfriend with only one testicle, sorry? You know, is that an impact? Does that impact of your ability to have a nice girlfriend and think and plan for your marriage? Does it impact on your ability to have insurance? Does it impact on your ability to have a job? By the way, if nobody knows, at least impacts on your ability to serve to the American Army, just so you are aware. If you are a survivor of cancer, you cannot go into the Army. So there are a lot of implications, there are a lot of issues. And what we are very, very happy, very, very proud is that with the partnership with Providence St. Joseph's, with the Disney Cancer Center, and with your support, we have been able to create, under the leadership of Lisa and others, we have been able to create an environment that will deal not only with the motorcycle, by people that have knowledge about how to take care of the motorcycle, but also a situation where we'll create environment that will be able to be supportive and speak the same language, that will be able to support issues such as sexuality, such as employment, such as insurance, such as looking for different ways of healing yourself through great trips, through yoga, through other healing processes. They are not the conventional chemotherapy. So it's a challenge. Many of us have been fighting to accomplish this for many, many, many years. But I think we have been successful in finding a partner that has given us an incredible, incredible environment to support this dream. Our partnership has started. I think we have been very successful in working with a group of patients that survived pediatric cancer and now are facing all the day-by-day challenges of being an adult with the outcomes of being a survivor of cancer, not being able to bear children, having one limb missing, having some neurological difficulties, having some endocrinological difficulties, and having all of these problems being addressed by one cohesive group is something that no other place, no other institution has easily been able to accomplish. So we are very proud, and I know that many of you have supported the creation of this wonderful cancer center, but I'm very proud, and I hope that you will share the same feeling that we share, Lisa, myself, and many of our colleagues, on the importance of being able to speak multiple languages. And only by doing so, we're going to help many other TOs for the years to come. So I really, really appreciate, and I hope that you will be a partner with all of us, and that you will be proud of such a wonderful work that this team is doing. Thank you very much.